Hi, dreams and nightmares show us many possible ideas and realities that we have inside us. Yet, when we wake, we seem to have this feeling of direction, no matter how subtle it is. This is noticeable inside the clip of Inception and of the Sandman comic by Gaiman. Not only are we told explicitly in Inception of the influence that dreams have on us, we also see inside the dreamscape about what is created to try and guide us. In the Sandman comic, we notice how in every dream there is a common theme despite how all of the dreams start off in random and different scenarios. Let's talk about dreams and nightmares. What are they? Dreams and nightmares come about during this process called REM sleep, which is a certain cycle that our brain does, realizing the possibility of dreams and nightmares. A dream and nightmare are of the same branch, it's just that nightmares are more referred to as bad dreams. We have a general grasp about dreams and nightmares now. Our brain does something and we have them. Let's move on to why Inception and Sandman comic fables and reflections can help us answer this question that despite the varying content in our dreams, why are dreams and nightmares able to guide us toward our desires? First, we should go into how Inception and the Sandman comic could relate to us. After all, whenever I recall some of my dreams, none ever seem to be created by someone else, and none seem to have a common theme. We can relate to Inception in that we are the person making our dreams. We just don't know or understand how we do that. Sometimes we solve the conflict and therefore will not have the trouble on our mind. For this is talking about the connection for the Sandman comic and how they have common themes in their dreams. Well, we would not always have similar dreams having similar themes because we may have already solved the conflict and came up with a solution. Now that we know Inception and the comic have a connection with us, we can talk more about them. Let's start off with Inception. Christopher Nolan, the director for Inception, is well known for his interesting use of visuals and thought processes he displays in his movies. You can see this in Inception during the coffee table scene. First of all, in the clip of Inception shown during class, we see Dom Cobb teaching Ariadne in the dreamscape how to manipulate and create the dream world of the person. Something to know about Inception is that this movie displays overlapping ideologies that seem to clash and produce this vague feeling we get when watching the movie. Now, the scene I would like to observe and analyze more specifically in this clip is during the coffee table scene. We get to see this diction and language of Dom Cobb and how it's rather informal and on a level that everyone can understand, is familiar with, and know what he's talking about. Because Dom Cobb does this, when he sets up the connection to something we understand, to something we may not have thought of or caught or understood, it becomes, for lack of a better phrase, mind blowing. How are we not aware of any of this possible connection that we have? Like, why would we ever not realize that we're in a random place in our dreams? We start to introspect and theorize after realizing this. But the key point here is that we start to question more about the functionality of dreams. This is what Inception is made for, if I may be so bold to say. It's to help us start the questioning process of dreams. Now, how does Inception answer the question mentioned earlier about guidance? It's important to understand the randomness of dreams by starting from the beginning, and that's what Inception did. It questioned how we got to what we did. By throwing us in a random scenario that we just need to accept, we become more susceptible to the lesson that would follow after helping to explain this guidance factor. Now for the Sandman comic, Fables and Reflections. Neil Gaiman wrote and had experience in the field before he started working on rewriting the Sandman in comic form. He was able to integrate his experiences from before into this comic, giving a holistic experience. In this comic, we see Todd in a down mood about his job, falling asleep into a nightmare, talking with his figure about his fear of falling. As a comic named from Sandman, it's based off this childhood fear that many experience from this figure known as Sandman. The thing about this comic is that it takes a spin from this fear and applies not just a childhood fear, but we are able to see the fear of heights, for example, that it applies for a realistic fear that others may have. You can start noticing some key details in this comic, such as the use of color in this comic. It's rather important to understanding the message in the nightmare. From the different text bubbles, we can see who is talking, and what seems like a blur or a past nightmare that didn't end well, and what isn't based on the volume of red in one panel and the variety of colors in another. By recognizing what's part of Todd's past, the dialogue he has with his figure in his dream, we're able to understand this fear or possible desire that kept and held Todd hostage. Now, how would this comic relate to guidance? Well, based on this nightmare, there are many details that provide guidance towards Todd. Despite the randomness of it all, the red color shows the past he needs to face, even if that past was filled with witches and clowns and him as a baby. Even if it was all random, we're still able to see that he needs to face the past, his past fear. The scenario of the climb symbolized climbing the long obstacle that awaited him. All of these details show guidance, despite how seemingly impossible it is for any of this to be connected. There is research into the possible connection that these dreams might have in reality, since the troubles we have in real life are in a way displayed into our dreams and nightmares. Although it is still uncertain whether or not this is correct. Now, some may say that sleep is still something we're trying to figure out and don't understand to this day. To this day, we just don't understand, as seen in various research. So why would any of this matter, since there's a very real possibility that this connection is not true? The connection being guidance and dreams, just not real. Well, to answer this, the reason why considering this guidance that dreams and nightmares might provide is crucial is that for one, we can use this as a temporary explanation to base off other ideas to get closer to the truth. There's also nothing wrong with trying to understand something about ourselves even when we are most likely wrong. By figuring out a reason for ourselves, we're able to come to terms with this vagueness of dreams and nightmares and what effect they might have on us. And then we are finally not having to suffer worrying about something unknown to us. Now, here are my sources. Pen and Solo, thank you for taking your time to watch this. I'm done.